Welcome back to Southern Adirondack Outdoors. Today I'm just throwing together some quick and easy Bluebird boxes. I'll show you a basic design. I honestly don't measure on these. I just throw them together and I put a rustic roof on and mount them at the orchard. For the bluebirds are beneficial for insect control. We've got these. This is a long backboard. This is currently 26 inches and let's see, just under 6 inches wide, about a little more than 5 3/4. So I'm going to go ahead and rip these at 22.5 across the end, and that'll establish our pitch for the roof. So I want to establish how thick my stock is. So it's a little under, it's about 3/4 apparently. And then I want to establish how far out my box is actually going to come. Let's see, so 3/4 plus whatever I want for depth. I would say 6 inches is enough, so 6 3/4. And my front piece is going to set on the inside of this, so I might want to bump that out another 3/4. So 6 3/4. Looks like we're at 7.5. I've got my miter gauge set to cut these at 22.5 degrees to match the roof slope. So that's what I'm just going to run them through like this, and this will set my angle. Let me cut one and I'll show you. So that gives me a 22.5 degree angle, and that should match the angle I have here. These are going to sit to the, how am I doing this? To the outside. So, and the angles match. It looks good. Okay, the next thing I did is I lined these up according to size. And the reason I did that is, as I said, I don't measure a lot of this. Some of it you have to, but for the sides and the varying lengths, what I'm going to do is just pair these off into similar lengths, and then these will all be cut to length. Let's see. And I'm going to do this again on the table saw. So. I'm going to have to bring this way up. I'm going to be cutting these 2 at a time. So that looks good. And I've got enough height on the miter back here to support it, so it'll go through easily without being dangerous. But what I'm going to do is just trim these to the same length. So, get started on these. Those 7 pairs are cut, so that's all our sides. The pitch for the roof is on there and matched. And now we're going to cut the fronts, which will be the same width as these backs, the back attaching board. So the front will have to be at least, there we go, as long as these fronts. So I'm probably going to want to just cut them the length of the longest one, which I believe is here. So this guy, let's see if you can get this. This guy is right around 12. So if I cut these all at 12, that'll be good. And whether or not I decide, I may or may not decide to put the pitch on this, and I'll show you why when I get there. Alright, the fronts are all cut. I'm going to go ahead and cut a square edge along the top of those. I might square up the bottom as well. I might as well do both edges while I'm doing it. So we'll get that cut. Alright, let's see if we can bring some of these individual pieces together. This goes this way. Here's the sides. Here's the front. And hopefully one of these angles I'll be able to show you what I do with the front. This might be longer than necessary. So this is the same as the back. So with the fronts, I pin these with only one nail on each side, usually right in the middle. And what that does is allows this to pivot on the nail, and that way you can clean them out. I've got to make bottoms for these still. And also, let me get this guy. Usually when I set these up, when I put these fronts in, I'll show you. There we go. I usually pull these down from the top a little bit, and that way there's a little ventilation at the top. So a little bit of air can hopefully come out or get in, and they're not airtight anyway, but this gives a little ventilation at the top. So I like to do that, and that is going to be covered by the roof. We need to create a bottom, and the bottom will be the same width as this, so 5 7/8. We'll just make square 5 7/8. The bottom will be nailed in solid or screwed, and the door, the front door, the pivoting door, will come in up here. So with the bottom recessed, you'll have a drip edge. The backboard slid down, you'll have airflow in the back, and with the top of the front pivoting door slid down, you'll have airflow in the front. So, and here's, put the top on yet. Let me see if I can pinch this. There we go. Here's your whole birdhouse. So here's an assembled version. This backboard is for mounting. I found if you keep the nail hole, if you pin the rotating door high, then you can rotate this out. If you go too low, then this will hit the back, and you won't have as much room. So if put your nail up this way, and you can tip it out, gives you access, and so you can clean out last year's nest and have it ready for them. Close that. There's your gap for the top. Put the bottom in. The bottom I just nail on the side, the back, and the other side, and the bottom acts as a stop for the door. And then this is a roof. I had this piece laying around. It already has a 45 on the bottom. I make it wider than the birdhouse itself, a little overhang, and then I milled that 22.5 angle there, and I just throw it on. Gives you a nice flat back so you can mount it wherever you want. And then you've got overhang in the front, and you still have that air vent at the top. These for eastern bluebirds should be 1.5 inches, and I use the backboard for mounting, and then you can also usually you can get in here, and I put one screw in through here and then another one down here, and they're usually nice and sturdy. I got all the roofs on and all the holes are drilled. I'll give you a look. This one I got to get down low in order to see the hole behind the overhang of the roof. So there's 7 of them total. You see what I mean by the rustic roofs? I just kind of slap stuff on. I had a couple like this. One of them actually cracked down the middle, so I replaced that. And this one cracked along the side. I think I'm just going to leave it. So that's how they come out. They're pretty rustic. That's the intention. There's another one with a hole behind the overhang. And they should be just fine. I'll take these down, hang them at the orchard. If you have any questions about these boxes, throw them in the comments, or tell us how you make yours. So hopefully this has been helpful on learning to throw together a quick Bluebird box. There's nothing very fancy here. These are intended to be rustic. I usually get about 5 years of use out of them before they start to rot and they need to be replaced. You could make them last a little longer if you want to go ahead and stain or paint them. But for the most part, I don't find that it's necessary. We're lucky we have the resource to replace them easily. So We appreciate you joining us today. I'm Andy, and this is Southern Adirondack Outdoors, and we hope to see you next time. I got 2 screws in here. One up here in the box, one down below.